Evening J-Pod, it's me, Mr. Mustafles. We're going to be doing something a little bit different with Athelstan's Kitchen. He's going to just give you a lot of words to digest, so get ready. Take it away. So, to combat the idea of student budget meals, the only thing I could really think of would be to sort of break it down into combining your vegetables and going simple, with the addition of simplifying spices. So you can get either bulk options like garam masala and all kinds of things for somewhat of a cheap cost, or you can go with something like this, which will last you for months. And these are just spice mixes for different dishes in Indian or Asian cooking, which you can then just cannibalize to use in whatever you need to do. Or you can just go simply with just sauces, pre-made sauces in the Asian food aisle or in the pasta aisle, and that way you can then make your own dishes that way from those pastes and sauces. For European cooking, it's a little bit different there. You'll need to sort of get things like pre-made sauces for Worcestershire sauce or any kind of sauce there. Combine it with soy sauce or the less salt variety on the left there, with things like pre-made garlic and ginger. These will last you quite a while. I've had these bottles running for like few months, and they don't really go off compared to the actual thing, such as ginger, garlic, Italian herbs, all the basil, oregano, things like that. They will start to wilt and die, whereas these pre-made stuff, all stored up in different sizes, will then last you months. So you can just buy a bunch, keep them and keep using them, and as soon as they start to dry up, you can then go and get some more, or get some different ones and take it from there. With dishes, you can then use the tinned tomatoes to make a tomato base. You can go with just the plain stuff and spice it up yourself, or you can get ones that come pre-spiced, and that way it's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to deal with, and you can then add a bit more if you feel like it's missing something from there. And that covers sort of most of your European stuff. For people who want meat in their diet, you've got sausages that come in gourmet sort of flavors, which you can turn into mincemeat, as well as just frying up sausages. And then to round off the food pyramid, always remember your vegetables. I would recommend starting off with things like cabbage, which will soak up some of the juices from whatever you're cooking, as well as give you some nutrition. You've then got things that you want for protein, like eggs. So you want to make sure that you've got things like eggs to make quick leftover omelets. You can use beans as well. They give you a nice source of protein. They can be fried, they can be baked, so that way you can definitely work out different textures if you need to as well. And then what I like to do is also mix things with tins of corn. The liquid you can use as a refreshing drink. I like that myself. I've passed it on to Steve, and he seems to enjoy it. So you can always use it to make things like dal stock or soup stock. These lentils are pretty robust and they last for a while. And you can also add a bit of plain yogurt, which you can also get in bulk. I've also heard of pizza dough made with yogurt, so you can always try your luck there if you don't like Greek yogurt, things like that. My personal favorite thickener would be coconut milk powder. It's sort of better than flour, I find. I'm not entirely sure. I just like the taste. So you can always try it and see how it goes. Again, it lasts for a while as long as you make it airtight. And then back to the Asian aisles to then get things such as these dehydrated noodle cakes, which you can rehydrate or boil to then add to your repertoire and make some pretty interesting noodles. If you're tired of rice, things like that. The rice section with Indian shops can be a bit pricey, so maybe stick to the Coles and Safeway, but it's up to you. So, Mr. Mustafles, what do you think of that sort of assortment? Yep. I think you did a pretty good job. There's a lot to cover with trying to combat sort of cheap cooking deal. So you can see Athelstan's pantry is pretty stocked full, but that's been for a few years. Your pantry will start out small, and then you can take it from there. Next week, we'll try to make some dishes with these ingredients.